Okay, we're recording. Now we can record. Okay, so first thing that we're doing before we even create any kind of a vision board, just do a brain dump. I know those of you hearing, you're hearing the same thing, but just take a piece of paper and you're just going to write out those things like projects that you need to do. If like you haven't done the laundry or you haven't done a mopping or any of those kinds of things like cleaning projects, just get it all out. I'm just going to be quiet and not talk for like 5 minutes or less. We're just going to do like a 3-minute brain dump. I'm going to set a timer and we're going to just go. Okay, if you guys have questions about brain dumping, let me know. But basically anything on your mind, any projects, anything that's been taking up space in your brain because you're just like, oh, I should do this. Get it out. Doesn't have to be in any particular order. Doesn't have to be sorted. Just take that couple of minutes. And if you're listening to this recording, well, we're just going to be quiet for another 2.5 minutes. Okay. Okay, are you guys in a time and space that you can actually do a brain dump right now? I'm trying to just kind of understand where everybody's at. You guys are good? Okay.
I'll have to do it later, but
okay.
I'm going to take notes and
No, that's totally fine. I would just say like basically first step is just, I'm like writing these out over here because I'm going to make a graphic or something for it. But basically first step, just brain dump everything. Ooh. Okay. Okay. So my timer is going to go off in like 30 seconds. But so first step, brain dump. The reason that you do a brain dump is because it's really, really hard to make space in your brain for thinking about things that you've already done well, thinking about things that you want to accomplish this coming year. It's really hard to make space in our brains for that if we have all of this other clutter. So I know like I couldn't even really dump much on my page because I did a brain dump yesterday and just dumped out all the projects and things. And like this helps me like kind of every couple months. If I just am feeling really scatterbrained, I'll do another brain dump or I'll look at my list of stuff that I've made project ideas for. It's kind of my rough draft. So then what I would do is after I do a brain dump, then I would take a reflection of the last year. And I would try and think of like in your personal life, there's categories for it. Where's my planner that I've done this in? I have a really good planner that I've used for this, but it's hiding somewhere really, I might have actually thrown it away. Never mind. Well, okay. So I had this blank planner that I've done this in, but pretty much you just take your last year and think about pretty much at least 10 things. Like all of you guys have accomplished 10 things. So think about 10 things that you did in 2018. I don't even want you to think about 2019 right now. Just think about 2018. What happened last year that went well? What happened last year that you were surprised by? This could be like categories to think about. You could reflect on your spiritual growth. Like what did you do well? Did you, read scriptures pretty consistently? Did you attend the temple? Things like that. Those are things that like I reflect on and I say, okay, well, we went to the temple pretty much at least once a month last year. That's like, that hit my goal for that year, was to go at least once a month. Did we, in your relationship with your spouse or your significant other, think about 1 to 2 things that went well in your relationship. So spiritual, emotional, and mental, these are just some categories you guys could use. Spiritual, emotional, mental, physical, so like your fitness or physical type stuff. Relationships, if you have a business, then business goals. And then the last one for kind of what I think about is just kind of like homemaker type stuff. So like things that I wanted to accomplish at home, or within my family, things like that. I guess home and family is kind of what it would be. Really, you could bundle home, family, and relationships all together, but I would just think of 1 to 2 things for each of those categories and write down, okay, what went well last year? So let's just take 3 minutes and let's just do that really quick. And if you're like just kind of mentally jotting down or mentally thinking about those, like just be aware of the things that did go well, even if they weren't the things you wanted to go well at first. Okay. I know that wasn't the full 3 minutes, but I have crying kids and my friend is watching them right now. So I just wanted to move on to the next thing. Okay. So once you've reflected really, really well on last year, I would sit for like 10 to 20 minutes at the most and just really try and think of everything that you did or that happened in those specific areas, those categories, and just think about the things that went well, the ways that you grew. Because if you can reflect on those kinds of things, then you can kind of see where you could make improvement. But it also really helps to start the year, instead of thinking, what haven't I done? Think about like giving yourself a pat on the back, because then you're starting in a positive place. Then you're starting in this place of like, wow, I really did a lot of things that helped me in my life last year. I don't feel so like, crap, I didn't do everything I wanted to. I feel more like, okay, cool, I did all these things. Now I feel like I'm more capable of accomplishing whatever goals you have for the new year. That way you're not starting, you're really, it's changing your mindset from a lack, a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset. That's kind of what I want you to be thinking about, is be focused on the things you already have. Surprises, like good surprises, like those kinds of things. If you can reflect more on those, then your ability to start the year off in a positive place and to be able to work and make progress towards your goals that you have for this year is going to feel so much better. So just to give you like one example, like one of the things that I did in my fitness journey is I completed 80-day obsession and Lift 4 and Shift Shop. And like there were multiple programs that I actually did from start to finish. And that's something that I'm super, like, I'm proud of myself for doing that, because I stuck to the calendar, I stuck to the eating plan, like those kinds of things. That's something to like recognize. And even if I didn't, meet all of my physical fitness goals, things like that, like that's still a way to measure my progress. And so then if I'm measuring my progress that way, and I know that I could do it that way, then maybe instead of setting a goal to lose, 20, 30 pounds this year, maybe I set a goal to be consistent for a longer period of time than what I was the last time. So if you manage, like Tracy, I know that your goal was like, hey, I'm going to exercise. I think at the beginning of the year, wasn't it like 3 days a week? So like maybe your goal this year is 4 days or 5 days, or that, just kind of incrementally increase your goal. But if you don't know what you've already done and you don't know what already went well, it's hard to think of how you could make a step forward for the next year. So step 3, after you've reflected on everything that you've done the previous year, is I want you to think of those main areas, those same spaces in your life. So spiritual growth, relationships, emotional and mental health, any kind of financial or business related things, fitness, and then home and family is like kind of my 4 or 5, 6, somewhere in there. Those categories, think of 1 to 2 things in each of those categories that you want to improve on. That's it. I don't want you making lists of like 5 bazillion things that you need to, or 50 bazillion things that you need to do in all those areas. Like, keep it limited. And if you need to dump out some of those things and just get lots of things out first and then narrow it down and circle your top 2 to focus on, then that's fine. But I feel like it's a lot easier to get kind of bogged down by our New Year's goals if we have too many things. So instead of trying to do all of it at once, just pick 1 to 2 things in each of those areas and focus on those until you get really good at being consistent with them, or you feel like you've kind of mastered that skill in life or built that habit. Then you can move on and you can try to build a new one. So let's just give an example or get an example. Tracy, do you mind sharing something that you like? Can you think of something off the top of your head that you want to do this coming year?
Yeah. So going back to your point, I was consistent at working out probably 4 months out of the year, like consistent all the time. So then my next year goal is, okay, keep it, the 3 to 4 times a week, but make it 6 months, make it consistent instead of a little here, a little here, a little here. Keep that consistency. So then that's my next goal.
So then the other thing to think about then is just think about how you're measuring that consistency. So maybe you could be measuring that consistency on like a printout calendar, and you can print it out and look at it. And every time you complete a full month of 3 to 4 days a week, you like put it on the calendar, or, you put it on the wall and you can see it. That's part of why I love the workout programs and the plans and things, is because you have a visual reminder of everything you're already accomplishing. So Sydney, what's one of your goals that you have, or something that you feel like you'd like to improve on this coming year?
I guess it goes along with something that you said, is I always default to doing the elliptical because that's something that I've done for years, and it's just easier instead of just pulling up a Beachbody program. So that would probably be one of my goals, is to finish an actual program, because I don't think I've ever finished an actual program.
Okay, so thinking about those kinds of things, if you've never completed a program before, this could be for anybody, not just for Sydney. If you've never completed start to finish something like 21 Day Fix or Shift Shop, things like that, which, Sydney, didn't you complete Shift Shop? I thought you did last year, or might have been in 2017.
It was 2017.
So don't beat yourself up about never doing a program. You did one. That's more than a lot of people who do Beachbody programs have ever done. So you know that you can do 21 days because you've already done it. The other thing that I would think about is if 21 days feels too overwhelming, then start with 7. So next week, starting on Monday, you could start Sean Week, and you could do the Sean Week, which is it's a 7-day program. Or there's Clean Week, Sean Week, and there's like a little obsessed or a little more obsessed. There's a couple of those week-long programs that have 7 days of workouts. You just complete the 7 days, and that's your plan. You follow that. I would do one of those. Give yourself a small victory. And so set your, if you have 2 things for fitness, say, okay, I'm going to focus on completing a program, but step 1 is complete a 7-day program. Step 2, complete a 21-day program. Something like that. So you're kind of baby stepping it up. So something to kind of think about, like my relationships. One of my things that I'm trying to be better about as a mom is just focusing on positive with my kids. So focusing on the positive with my kids, I did that well last year with using, we have a token system, basically like a pebble jar where they get pebbles for doing good things. for being, good helpers, things like that. But just for me, I just want to continue to use that more frequently because I don't know that I necessarily use that every single day. It's kind of like, oh, every couple of days I'll be like, oh, by the way, we forgot to do pebbles. So one of my goals is just to be a little bit more focused on the positive with my kids. So those are the kinds of things that you can do. But once you have those 2 to 3 things in each of these categories in your life, then what you can do, I'm going to actually screen share really fast. And after I share this, I'm going to actually let you guys go. But once you've got your 2 to 3 things in each area, then instead of just leaving them on a piece of paper, we're going to go right over here to, I start with a Pinterest board. And I tried printing out a vision board, and that was fine. Like I'm okay with printing out a vision board, but I think that for me, having a vision board on Pinterest where I can access it on my phone anywhere helped a lot this last 6 months, because I didn't start using this until about 6 months ago. But I kind of sort my Pinterest board based on the things that are most important to me. So faith and family and home, those are my top priorities. So they're in there at the top. I have a lot of home decor type things right now because those are just visions of what I want my home to look like. But this is just from last year. So what I love about Pinterest is I can update it. I can change things. So as I complete different things, or if we had already gone to Disneyland as a family or things like that, I can change things for my vision board. But one of the things you can do is you can add in things so fitness goals. You can add in fitness quotes. So you can say, add something like be the best version of you to your Pinterest, your vision Pinterest board. Why is it not letting me pin stuff? Here we go. No, I don't want it saved to motivational quotes. I want it saved to my vision board. There we go. Edit this pin. Okay, there we go. So you can save quotes to a vision board. But what I would do is I would take those 2 to 3 things in each category. So for me, going to the temple is still on my vision board. Last year, my emotional mental health thing, that was really big for me. It wasn't actually on my vision board, but it should have been. But one of the things that I'm focusing on is affirmations. So I'm just going to look for some empowering affirmations that I can put on my Pinterest vision board. I'm going to save these to my vision board. And is it pinned? Saved to, I guess. Okay. Another thing that I'm going to add to my Pinterest board, because I'm hoping for a healthy pregnancy. So I would look up a pin, of a picture of somebody who's a healthy baby, healthy pregnancy type stuff. Might just be, I don't know, I'll pick something. One of these cute little mama bumps. Okay. We're just going to click one of these ones, but I'm just going to be putting it into my vision board because that's something I want to be thinking about. I want it to be something that I look at on a regular basis. So whatever your goals are for each of those 5-6 areas of life, 2 to 3 things in each area, and find pictures of things that represent that. So if you're for your family home life, if you guys want to take a family vacation, that's something that we want to do this year. And I want to take a couples trip, so me and my husband just by ourselves, then I'm going to put things in my Pinterest vision board that say I'm just going to say pictures of a cruise pictures. And I'm just going to put, whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. Don't click, just tap. I'm just going to click and put that onto my vision board. It's super easy. It's way easier than trying to make a collage or cutting things out from a magazine. All of those kinds of things that I want to be focused on, I put them on my vision board. Now, some of my vision board needs kind of sorted out and updated a little bit, and that's fine. Let's see, what's it doing up here? Accept, thank you. But I feel like it really helps me to just have something that I can scroll through really fast, just in 1 to 2 minutes in the morning, and I can look at it throughout the day. And I can, kind of update things for here. But some of these are pictures of what I want to do in my office and vacations I want to do and a dress that I want to wear for recognition for Beachbody. just fun things like that. And then I have some little motivational things at the bottom from people that I like, I'm inspired by. So honestly, creating a vision board, I feel like it doesn't have to be complicated. The hardest thing is that a lot of us try to skip ahead from the brain dumping and the reflecting on the previous year and then the actual setting of your goals to making a vision board. But if you don't know what you want, you can't really make a vision board for it. So step 1, brain dump. Step 2, reflect on the previous year and what you did accomplish. Step 3, think about 1 to 2 things in each of those areas of your life that you want to accomplish or do this coming year. Put those in your vision board. Find pictures that represent that. Then the last thing is to actually use your vision board. So set like a time in your day. It could be when you brush your teeth. It could be when you, I don't know, when you are sitting like waiting for kids to pick up at school or something like that. Pick a time of your day, and every single day for like the next 7 days, just look at it. You don't have to like close your eyes and do weird guru things. Like just look at it. Because if you see it often enough, your brain will start to remember things and you'll start to basically just trigger back to that. Instead of thinking of all of the limiting beliefs that you have, you're going to start to think, well, no, I can do this because I want this. If you have a good idea of where you want to go, you have a good idea of what you want to do and why, then achieving your goals in the coming year like becomes so much easier. Okay, well, that's all I had. Well, thanks for listening. If you guys have questions, I'm happy to answer questions for like 3-4 minutes, but I really kind of got to go.